Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. This is Jason with the Hump Day edition of End the Simpademic. And as I've said previously, I'm going to be going through the chapters that I have in my new book that will be coming out called End the Simpademic. And I'm kind of filming this kind of as to develop markers for myself as well, as to provide you some insight into what this book is going to be about. So yesterday I discussed chapter 1 about how the lonely fans and Instagram girls do not necessarily like you. In fact, they definitely do not like you. And number 3, chapter 2 is going to be about market value. And I've digressed on this before on this channel, and market value is 2 words. So we need to clearly define market and value. And as a man, you need to define your market. And I'm going to say this one more time. You are not for everyone. Nobody is. This isn't, you don't get to pick the best out of every one person or do it like Burger King and have it your way. But your market is specific, or at least it should be. And I really highly encourage people, even before this book comes out, to define what your market is. Now, this is the chapter in the book that's going to require the most writing, and because I think it's the most extensive subject there is. And so you're not going to see everything on this particular episode. You'll just have to wait for the book to come out for me to spell it all out. But you need to understand that your market is very specific. Defining your market is the most important thing that you can do as a man, as far as being single and knowing what you're on the lookout for. Notice how I say you're not chasing or pursuing, you're on the lookout for it. Because I have said this before. Whoa, sorry, can't hold the phone. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're chasing, they're running. So going back to market value, what is your market? What are specific characteristics that you're looking for in your future partner? I know mine, and it's very specific. She needs to have gone through all of it in my life on a level that I have, as far as adversity and overcoming and being resilient. And the book will have more about what those things that I've had are. But I have spelled them out on my channel a couple times, and I'll let you go back in the library to see if you can find it. But at the same time, this is a very specific market quality that I am specifically keeping my eyes out for. I need a woman who's going to understand all of the challenges, or at least most of the challenges and adversities that I've been through, and how I've managed to overcome them. And if she's done the same, that's all the better. Because we're both going to be complicated people. We don't get very much in terms of forgiveness, but we also give it. And so to each other, we're going to serve as that particular source. So she's going to understand, and obviously I'm not looking on the lookout for a damsel in distress here. This is going to be somebody who's bailed her ass out so many times against such traumatic adversities that she's a pro at it, just as I am. And so she has just bailed herself out. She's the complete opposite of the damsel in distress. She's the alpha badass woman who has been there, done that, like myself. That is my market specifically. Now to part 2. Value. What value do you offer? Well, in my case, to this specific woman, if I match her adversity, tenacity, and overcoming powers, we are everything to each other. Now, your market value is not going to be the market value for everyone. Just like your market isn't for everyone. But you need to be very clear on what kind of value you're going to provide this woman who is in your market, and exactly how the pieces fit. You're going to want to know this ahead of time. Because if you do and you find somebody who matches that market, and you know that what value you provide that type of woman, things from what I have seen when people have matched along those lines, it becomes actually remarkably easy. All the black pill content in the world will not dissuade a couple in this situation, because they mean everything to each other. In my case, this woman does need to have a strong faith in Jesus and worship the same God that I do. Now, of course, that type of faith connection is very important to, I think, to everybody, regardless of what your faith specifically is. And I think that's a very common value that you're going to want to share. So you might want to start there and just build yourself out from there. Just build your vision, build your market, what you view to be your market, and what kind of value you're going to provide a woman in that market. And be very specific on how things are going to fit, because if you should be fortunate to run into that woman, it's gonna come together, because you're just gonna know what you offer her, and you're gonna know what she offers you. It's very difficult to mentally put that stuff together. It was not very easy for me to put that stuff together, but it will be worth it when it happens. Because I've seen quite a number of couples that have come together in this manner, and those relationships wind up becoming the most fulfilling and the most enjoyable that I've ever seen happen. So that's the short version of Hump Day and the Simpademic. Again, more details in the book when it comes out. So anyhow, enjoy your Wednesday. Appreciate being halfway through the week. Have a toast for yourself and be good to yourself as well. Peace out, homies.